everybody. Happy Wednesday. Happy Women's History Month. We're still we're still here. And happy spring. Somebody said that this morning and I didn't realize it. We are literally on the verge of starting spring, which is also amazing and impressive. I still feel like we were in the tail end of last year and now we're already heading into springtime, which is beautiful. I'm just so excited and thankful to have here one of our board members, Sandy Martinez for United Latinas, and such a pioneer Latina in a space that we're going to talk about today, which is Web3. And I want to kick it off there because I know what Web3 is because you explained it to me, not because I knew. And I want to make sure that our audience knows about the space because it's an important space now that we're in this digital and tech era becoming an important part of our lives. So it's as a small business owner, as a career professional, as a Latina, like all of these, it's very important that we understand about this space. So Sandy, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for being here and for illuminating us in this very important topic.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This being part of United Latinas has definitely been an amazing journey for me because I love to talk about Web3 and I love all the opportunities that it brings. But I'll start off just so you all understand where I'm coming from as far as working in the industry. So, I have my background is in higher ed. I'm a very huge education advocate. I worked in various leadership roles at Arizona State University and I built communities. I was the 50th president for the Chicano Latino Faculty and Staff Association. So I was super embedded in higher ed and I actually stepped away from the industry, from this profession that I have. Um, and I bought my first NFT on my last day at ASU. And that completely changed my life because I am an educated Latina and I struggled opening my digital wallet. I struggled buying crypto. I struggled understanding like all the jargon and how to even navigate this industry. And so I quickly became that person who was asking a lot of questions, translating things for other Spanish speaking investors so they understood where things stood for them. And so I eventually started my own radio show. So I am a radio show host for Web3 Al Aire to educate the Spanish speaking community about the industry. Eventually, I also worked with a global brand like Jarritos to build their NFT community and also it launched their first NFT, and it was so amazing to represent Jarritos. I'm a proud Mexicana, proud Mexican immigrant here in the US, so that was really awesome. And now it led me to launch a very important initiative with the United Nations, and that was to feature women in Web3. And so now I'm the founder of Women of Web3 to empower women to thrive in this digital landscape by reducing inequalities and gender equality, which are very important sustainable development goals with the UN. So I'm an investor, I am embedded in the industry, and I'm helping build community and empower women. So that's where I'm coming from. So now to fast forward to what this industry is about, it's innovative, it's revolutionary, and it's impacting our daily lives. We're talking about NFTs, which are digital assets. They no longer just stand for art or digital images. They're actually associated to different things like fractionalized ownership. They're of companies. They represent real estate. They represent music. They represent exclusive memberships to different communities. We've heard of Bored Ape Yacht Club. I'm sure you've if you like Tiffany and Co, you've heard of CryptoPunks because they launched a special collection. Starbucks even launched a special collection as well. So they're digital assets that represent a new way of doing things, a new way of your experience of purchasing. And it's very closely tied to the blockchain. And the blockchain is like a digital ledger where all of these transactions are taking place. It's transparent. It keeps everything secure. It's decentralized records of transactions. So there's banks, associated, although banks are getting involved now in blockchain. But it's really awesome. So then we're talking about Web3. So, Web3, this is the next enhanced version of the internet. This is where we have more immersive experiences through a metaverse or a cyberspace where humans can interact socially and economically as a digital figure. So, you're going to start seeing like digital clothing. There's already fashion artists, and I'll talk a little bit about that, the innovation in the fashion industry. So there's so many things that are happening and evolving so quickly in this digital landscape that I love to talk about.
And I love it. I love hearing about you because I'm always learning something new. But I want to take a brief step back before we move forward, right? Because I now understand a lot of what you say because now you've immersed me. I have to say, you've immersed me into this space. That I know that at the beginning I was like, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
So I do want to stress a couple of things. I love, first of all, your story on how you got immersed into this whole thing just from the purchase of one NFT.
Hmm.
Right. And I remember having this conversation with you a couple of years ago, I think it was, I can't even remember, where I was also getting pulled into this NFT world without knowing it. And I was texting you like, Sandy, I don't know how to open my wallet. Like, please help. I don't know who to
Yes.
ask
Right.
because the people that, that I'm joining, which are awesome, I feel that I can't come to them and ask them because I feel they're gonna think that I'm stupid, right? Or that I don't know, and I don't want to feel ignorant
Yeah.
about this process. So having this community of knowing somebody that has been there, done that, actually
Hmm.
helped me to be able to get into the world of NFTs and understanding the importance that it can bring to building wealth, to
Hmm.
extending your spread on impact from an investment standpoint. Many of us, if we go into investment, we go through the traditional forms of investing, and this is a different approach, a different approach into building businesses or being a part of businesses that who would have thought you could do. Like, that's something that you think like just the tycoons can do,
Right.
and now it's the democratization of, in reality anybody can have access, right? So it's
Yeah.
very important. I just wanted to ground it into this. You don't have to be an expert in this. You just need to want to understand and then reach out to us here at United Latinas, to
Yes.
you, and Women in Web3, just to understand a little bit more and be able to play in this very, very important and very fast growing space,
Yes.
which, whether we know about it or not, we're going to be immersed into it very sooner rather than later. And it's like, I feel like it's like when we started with smartphones, right? Like, everybody was like, why do you need a smartphone? Now it's a half, it's sort of like a right hand or a left hand.
Mhm.
It's through the space where we do everything. So I feel like all these new technologies, it's something that we need to become, or start just being curious and asking curious questions to become well versed, so that, as it keeps coming to us, we know what we're talking about. So just wanted to make a pause there because I think it was important. And with that, then I want to ask you, from a Latina perspective, right? What are the challenges that you are seeing that Latinas or women face when entering this industry, or trying to even understand the industry, and how can they overcome the obstacles?
Yeah, there's quite a few obstacles. I mean, we're talking about language barriers, for for Spanish speaking Latinas. We're also talking about imposter syndrome. We're talking about building your brand, from scratch. So for me, I'm an educated Latina, okay? Like I'm pretty savvy with technology. I mean, when I was at ASU, I was very proud of myself for in one of my jobs, I built an ad hoc coding program where I would use I like for emails for and spreadsheets and people that students that I needed to contact. Like I built something where it would do it on its own, and I would literally just sit there and watch it. And I was so proud of myself. So I say that to share to express that I thought I was pretty tech savvy, and like I mentioned earlier, I struggled, creating my digital wallet. I had to call my peers that I knew that had mentioned at some point they had an NFT or they have Bitcoin. And so even like understanding the industry, like in my first project, the reason why I bought my first NFT actually was because I one of my friends, a global business leader, was starting to have a position in the first crypto hotel that was going to be started here in the Phoenix market. And so I was like so interested in that. But yeah, starting in the industry, it was hard. It was hard because of the jargon, because of all of that, and then imposter syndrome, right? Like the opportunities are endless. Like you mentioned, you can um, have exponential growth, and you can have exponential uh, wealth, if you make the right investments. And we've seen it with people who bought Board Ape Yacht Club NFTs, and now they're worth millions. Crypto punks, even Pudgy Penguins, which you probably see at Walmart now, that started as an NFT project, and they have a great following on Instagram and all of these other platforms because of the positivity that they spread. But people don't know that it's the NFT community. But there's this imposter syndrome. It gets to you because you're like, I don't belong here, right? Like, what am I doing in Web3? What am I doing with all of these investors, all of these talented and celebrities that are joining these exclusive communities? But the truth is that we do belong, right? We belong. We add value to the ecosystem. We bring that diversity. Us as Latinas, we bring the sazon, to any space and the vibrant colors. So with that said, like it's really interesting, all of the challenges that we have, but I have found that you can build your brand. You have to make yourself seen, you have to add value to the space, and so you can overcome the challenges by building genuine relationships. Finding your familia in this industry is key, because then you lift each other up. I get the opportunity to go to conferences at, for free or low ticket rates because of the people that I know. If there's VIP events like at NFT NYC, which I'm going to, pretty soon in the first week of April, I have access to these exclusive events because of the women that I know. Also, you know, um, not being afraid to ask questions. I built relationships with really incredible women. Most of them I featured at the UN because I was fearless in asking questions, or I was fearless in DMing them and saying, I don't understand this, or hey, you talked about this and I want to learn more, or hey, how can we collaborate, or how can I support you? Even getting my job with Jarritos, I saw that on a job board, um, and on Twitter about Web3 jobs, and I emailed them, I DM'd them, and I remember I still have the picture where I put a fiery, like they posted, we're building a community and we need staff for Discord, which is like a communication platform that people use. And I said, I'll DM you with a fire emoji and a Mexican flag. And I totally followed up on that. So you have to be fearless. You have to be open. You have to overcome your imposter syndrome, and you just have to build those genuine relationships. So I those would be my
I,
key things.
I love that. I love that. And I think the fearlessness just extends throughout, right? If we stay in our comfort zone, and I know that you're also a coach, if we stay in our comfort zone, that we're not going to do anything different, which is
Right.
okay if that's what you want. But if you want to keep moving, if you want to keep growing, definitely moving out of our comfort zone is something that we always need to do to find new spaces.
Yeah.
So, are there any success stories that you can share of, a Latina that has been impacted in Web3, or that you've helped, throughout this journey? Because I think we learn from stories to be able to connect, especially in things that we don't know. Uh,
Yeah.
any any great stories you can share, other than yours? Obviously, you're a great story yourself.
Oh, thank you, Eliana. I have plenty. I mean, I took 17 women, including myself, to the UN to talk about their journey, their incredible and remarkable journey, by the way. But there is one recent one that I have to say that it's been really awesome to see this growth and to see how Women of Web3 has impacted her, and Women of Web3 has elevated her to a level where she's gotten really amazing opportunities, and that is Wildy Martinez. So, Wildy is a pioneer in fashion design. She's the founder of Wildflower Fields. And so it's a Web3 platform that she uses to champion diversity and self-acceptance. And that's through art, fashion, and storytelling. And so she is so amazing because she empowers Latinas to embrace their uniqueness, and she's redefining like the beauty standards. And her digital collections are basically, she has vitiligo, and which is the skin disease, and so she uses that in all of her images, like all of her art. So she's a digital fashion designer. And recently, she shared with me that she got a partnership with L'Oreal. So L'Oreal Paris flew her out to LA, and she had to speak in front of like close to 300 people, and many of their artists who are afraid of AI or afraid of like this technology or don't know much about it, and had never heard of Web3, blockchain, or NFTs. And so she got to address, the L'Oreal audience, to speak about her journey and to show them, to show them technical skills of how she's incorporated AI in her digital fashion models. So that was really awesome to hear because she said that in her interview and her application, she included the snippets of her UN speech that she did. And so she strongly feels that that made a big difference in her getting this opportunity. And so for me, it makes me really proud because not only do I love empowering women, but I love when women of color have the courage to go for big things like that and get it. Like that was amazing for me. And I mean, just the fact that the diversity that she brings and is in these stages is incredible to me. So I'm very proud of the work that we do for Women of Web3 and how we've elevated them and created a platform. I mean, we built a website. We had a very amazing campaign. We're actually taking another cohort of women to the United Nations. We just launched that yesterday, and we were open to feature more women. So if you're interested, DM me. But Wildy, Ileana, is would be my example, my recent example, because I have plenty of women who are creating impact in this industry.
And I would definitely encourage people to DM Sandy or connect with her through United Latinas as well, because you've heard the story. You don't know where a DM can take you, right? It can completely open up
It brought me to
a new
you.
set of, yeah, and a new set of possibilities. And sometimes it is that simple, but even the DM takes courage to be able to say, I'm going to reach out and tap into somebody that I don't know. And what if they don't answer to me?
Yeah,
But then the flip side is, what if they do? And what can happen from there? So definitely do that.
yeah.
So, as a founder of Women of Web3, I know that you have incredible vision for this platform that will empower and support women, especially Latina leaders, right, in this digital realm that many of us have no idea or are just getting our feet wet. What impact? Where's your vision going, and what's the impact that you hope to have within the industry and beyond?
Yeah. You know, basically is for young girls to know that they're not alone. That when they come to this industry, and women, of course, that they're not alone, that there's other women that are here to support them, that there's other women that they can see how they've applied the technology in their industry. With Women of Web3, we have real estate agents who are using the technology. We have a supermodel. We have thought leaders like Sandy Carter with Unstoppable Domains. We have individuals who have built their own projects. We have individuals creating financial literacy. So I really see our vision to expand and continue to elevate Women of Web3, to make sure that there's educational resources. And also, we're also um, very committed to giving back. And so we actually have a really fabulous partnership with Crypto Queens, which is a startup in Mexico who educates young girls in Spanish about the STEM field. And so we were able to extend scholarships with our NFT proceeds, because we did launch an NFT during our time at the UN. And so those proceeds have already impacted young girls so that they can learn about AI and how they can apply it to their schoolwork, to everything that they're doing. So that's really awesome. And we're extending more scholarships. There's a certification that Crypto Queens will be launching in April that's going to include Women of Web3. That is going to certify individuals in blockchain technology and everything that the industry is bringing. So I'm really, really proud of that. But overall, we know that women hold 28.8% of jobs globally in technology, and that's according to Catalyst. So we're on a mission to make sure that we're transforming the space, that there's opportunities, that we're opening doors, that we not only are a voice for women in the industry, but that we're bringing our ethics and setting that professionalism that should be in the space, which, we're all very proud of everything that we're bringing to the table. So that's my vision, to continue to empower women, and of course, um, make sure that they're seen at the United Nations. Hence the reason why we're launching that nomination again, so we can do that this September for the 79th Science Summit.
That is so awesome. So I I mean, I think again we can continue on this topic, and we will continue on this topic because it is such an important piece of, to your point, enhancing Latinas into a space that is very, very needed, not only for them, but also for the legacy, right? That we want to
Yes.
leave future generations, the people in our family and the Latinas and the women that are coming behind us. It's so
Mhm.
important for many of us to break into this space and be the first, leave a mark. So
Yes.
connect with Sandy. Sandy, thank you so, so much for as always enlightening us with the space, right? If you haven't already, well, we have our summit tomorrow,
Yes.
where we're going to also continue a conversation with a lot of other interesting spaces and things that you can do to activate. In many places, we just keep hearing great intentions, but we're not moving forward. And tomorrow is all about activating ourselves and activating everything around us to be able to move forward and bridge those gaps, bridge the gaps from a gender perspective, bridge the gap from a wage perspective. It is very important. So if you haven't signed up to our summit, our Activate Summit for United Latinas, do so on our website or our social media platforms. You'll see the sign up there. It's free. It starts at noon Eastern time, running all the way to 3 p.m. We have an amazing lineup of speakers that will share all of their different stories and their different tips and strategies to be able to activate. And you'll finish the session with all of these great tidbits of information. So don't miss out on that. And then if you want to join other powerful Latina and learn more about United Latinas, we have our traditional March leadership meeting, and that's happening on Tuesday, I believe at 6 p.m. Eastern time. It's also virtual. You can also find the sign up on our website and unitedlatinas.com events. And you can see the scroll down here. If you just want to be a part of this community, join us, unitedlatinas.mn.co. It's your first step into being able to be a part of this community and others, because we partner and we collaborate and we co-create. We believe that all of us together is the way that we're going to be able to rise. So thank you again, Sandy, for being here with us today. And thank you, everybody, for allowing us to be in this space right now. And we hope you have a great rest of your day, wherever in the world you are.
Adios.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so much
Sandy.
for having me.
Bye.